Hi everyone, welcome to Goodbye Deli. I'm Chris King, and today we're giving our Destiny review. Now, as you guys know, Destiny came out on September 9th of this year. You may be asking yourself, why is this review coming out a little bit late? Well, there's a lot of kind of stuff that we've been working on for Goodbye Deli. We're working on getting out these walkthroughs, getting out these reviews, all this kind of content, because we really want to just kind of, push our, our website and our YouTube channel just forward a little bit. So we're just kind of working on that kind of stuff. My apologies for that. I did play Destiny, and I played through it, of course. But I played through it a little bit near the end of September. I got the game in the first week of release, but I ended up playing it at the end of September. Our plans was to do a walkthrough, all that kind of stuff, live streams, the whole nine. But when I first kind of got into Destiny finally near the end of September, as I mentioned, I realized that this wasn't the game I thought it was. Now, if you saw our Destiny launch video, you could tell that I was really excited. I worked at a retail store in the previous year or so, and when I heard about Destiny and the whole PS4 and all that kind of reveal, I was one of the early champions of Destiny. I could tell that this was a new IP that was going to be special, and in that case, I was right. I did predict that it would be the best-selling new IP and the fastest-selling new IP of any franchise in history. It beat out Watch Dogs, which I suspected as much. I believed those two games were going to be the ones that were going to set the benchmark for what new next-gen games have to be. If you saw a review on Instagram a while back about Watch Dogs, you could tell Watch Dogs didn't succeed. Well, neither did Destiny. Destiny runs into the same problems that Watch Dogs did, in my opinion. The graphics look good, the gameplay was really smooth, but the narrative was lackluster. The replayability was extremely repetitive, and the multiplayer aspect just is not really new, not really impressive. So let's jump to Destiny's review. The graphics are top notch. I mean, Destiny comes from Bungie, of course, and Activision, two studios who have such a really high pedigree when it comes to putting out high quality games. And in that case, Destiny doesn't, lack at all. The graphics are top notch, as I mentioned. The weapons and armor have incredible detail, and it kind of puts you in this mood of like this is, some sort of sci-fi apocalyptic future where all these things are tangible and possible. And in that case, it looks good. The environments look really, really high res, high detail kind of stuff that you have to have artists have worked on this, not just any regular game creator, So in that case, graphics were top notch. The gameplay, as I mentioned before, it comes from Activision and Bungie, two studios that are, at one point they were, you could, kind of claim almost rivals in a sense, because Activision, of course, the creators of Call of Duty, and Bungie, creators of Halo, two of the best first-person shooters in the history, of video games. It controls in the sense that it's very much like both of those games kind of mixed into one. The campaign controls of Halo with the multiplayer smoothness of the Call of Duty games. So in that case, I mean, the gameplay is incredible. I mean, you can have, I love the fact that you have like even just that double jump. Double jump in an FPS always kind of adds verticality, and you have the environments to match that. So you have guns that control really well. I'm an auto rifle guy myself. That controlled it really well. You have the abilities. I played as a Titan. Having those abilities, again, it kind of adds that other flair, that other aspect of the FPS. You kind of shake it up just a little bit, and it controls really smooth. The AI, of course, was really reactive. They really did kind of predict your movements and what exactly you were going to try to do, especially when you're playing on harder difficulties or, even kind of legendary difficulties, all that kind of stuff. The replayability is, I think, where this game starts to fall apart. We'll get to replayability and the narrative in just a moment, but let's start with replayability. The replayability after the end game is just not there. What we mean by replayability, of course, as I mentioned, is after end game content. So do you have to do cleanups? Is there any unlockable stuff? Is there any secret paths or secret caves or any other kind of stuff that you can find after the game is finished? I finished the game at level 19 or something like that, around that. And the end-game content is supposed to be unlocked at level 20, which most of it is. I mean, that's actually the recommended level that you want to jump into the Crucible. That's one of the recommended levels where you want to start looking for legendary equipment, and so you can increase your level past the 20, which I will mention is an aspect that I just hated. I hate having to, kind of bend backwards just to kind of increase my level with an RPG. To me, it kind of felt very, I'm not really sure how to describe it. It just was not true to the MMO. To the MMOs, I want to know that if I'm going to grind, it's for a purpose. This is my problem with the replayability. When you finish the game, everything is not different. Everything is exactly the same, minus maybe the Vault of Glass raid, which is the first raid we've had. And even then, it's just like the last portions of that raid that are actually different in any kind of sense. Minus the enemies who are either just enemies or bigger versions of the same enemies or palette swap versions of the enemies. There's anything to change it up. It's the same exact game, limited to those like 4 or 5 planets that you have, and that's it. So it gets extremely repetitive for me. I'm a fan of grinding and looting, but this is just overboard for me. The narrative kind of follows hand in hand with that, of course, because you can't have playability without the narrative. The narrative is not there. I use this simile. It's pretty much like when you go to an amusement park and you're waiting to get into some kind of big ride. You're excited, you have suspense and what's going on the whole time. The ride is kind of giving you narrative, so you won't get bored just kind of waiting in line. They have plaques, or they have statues, or they have videos of someone kind of telling you this is the location that you're in. Close your eyes, lose yourself. This is the world that you're in. This is the enemy or challenge you're going to be facing, and this is how you're going to overcome it. It's about the same amount of narrative that you get before each mission. You just get a little debriefing from the ghost, played by the extremely talented Peter Dinklage, who did not bring any of that talent to this game, as most of you guys have been hearing if you've watched some of the interactions that you have with the ghosts. Which I should mention, by the way, each mission is just limited to fighting, killing these enemies, and just holding square while the ghost just kind of stands in the same place every single mission. It's extremely boring. It's extremely frustrating. And again, by like the moon, I was kind of already seeing where this game was going to go. The last portion of this is the multiplayer. The multiplayer, it's about midway. I believe it's like a 3 out of 5 as far as like the scale goes. Nothing new. I mean, it controls really well. Controls really smooth. I love the aspect when you can bring your single player character into multiplayer, so you don't feel separated at all. You don't feel like you have to choose. It's kind of just all synchronized into one. But I mean, other than that, it just wasn't anything new. It was like pretty much exactly the same thing. The strike teams and fire teams, incredibly boring because you can't interact with your teammates. All everyone does is just after the mission, they start dancing or they start pointing and stuff. That's all you can pretty much do. Of course, apparently a lot of people don't have microphones yet. This is a game that I felt like you had to go in like tactic wise. I love those games like Ghost Recon where you have to communicate with your partners to tell them, I need you to kind of stand by this area. You cover this area. I'm going to go in this place. When you have to reload, you take it over the place. You can't do that in here because the interaction between you and your teammates is extremely limited. So Destiny ends up getting a 3 out of 5. Like I said, I was extremely excited going in. I wanted this to be the first game that was going to push this hardware, and it was really going to set the bar for next gen. It seems like we haven't gotten to that point just yet. Overall, I don't really recommend Destiny until until we get those 2 expansion packs that are supposed to be coming. At that point, if they're entirely different, let's say planets, that's something that's a little bit more interesting. By the end of next year, this game could be worth $40, $50. At this point, I don't really recommend spending the $60 on this game just right now. There's not enough content there. I kind of beat the game, I believe, like in a week or something, and that's because I was busy. I could have probably beat it maybe like 2 days, 3 days, something like that. But like I said, we were waiting. We were hoping that this was a game we were going to start with the walkthroughs and all that kind of stuff. But it holds your hand to the entire, like, 20 missions to the game. So like I said, if it's for you, if you're a raid, kind of person, if you're a grinding, looting person, that's cool. But just be aware that after you get your legendary and exotic weapons and armor, there's nothing else to do with it. It's just kind of jump back to the Crucible. So if that's for you, if you like that multiplayer grind, it'll be a good game. If not, like I said, you might want to hold off. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you can, just shout down below. Let us know your opinions of Destiny. Let us know what you're playing, what classes. Are you excited for this whole franchise as a whole? There may be a Destiny 2, Destiny 3. This game has a lot of potential. It can go places. Let us know your opinions. Share this video with your friends. And thank you for watching.